guys. Well, welcome. We're going to do a little bit, like I said, a little bit of a um, hip openers, the obliques, IT band, all those places that we hold a lot of tension. So actually a lot of our, we won't do any standing postures today. It'll be nice and low to the mat. So making sure that you have your block and maybe an extra pillar or something just to give some height if you need it. And then we'll go ahead and get started. So just starting in a seated position here. It's easy, cross-legged. And if you do have a blanket or something, it's always nice just to start off a little bit nicer to the hips, a little bit of something underneath just to help the pelvis tilt forward. Allowing ourselves to arrive here, maybe shrugging those shoulders up towards the ears and rolling them back and down. So that way we can open through the heart center and really lengthen through the spine. Taking a nice big deep inhale. You can exhale. Just focusing that energy, moving down through the torso into the sits bones, letting the legs become heavy. Maybe even closing your eyes for just a moment, just to come into the body, into the experience of the breath, noticing the inhale and exhale. And then gently allowing the eyes to float open. I'm going to just take a moment here, taking hands behind the head. Opening up through those elbows, opening through heart center here. Just breathe here for 3 breaths. Again, noticing if those shoulders are up by the ears, see if you can drop them down and away, create a sense of spaciousness. Sometimes interesting, just even this, it doesn't visually look challenging, but sometimes once the hands are behind the head, you can really feel the tension in the shoulders. Just breathe into this for a moment. And then your next big inhale, open through the throat, gentle lift to the sky. And then exhale, bring the elbows to touch, rounding through the upper shoulders, dropping the chin towards the chest. And then open up, inhale. Exhale, bring it in. Bit of a version of our seated cat-cow, but really getting into that upper body. Let's do one more here. Really biggest breath you've taken all day. Let that gaze go up, open through throat. And then exhale, elbows together. Right, just a little bit more with the shoulders here. We're going to exhale over to the right. Breathe here for 3 breaths. Come on up to center, big inhale. And then exhaling over to the left. Notice if that elbow is dropping forward. See if you can stay open in the chest here, even if it means you come back up a little bit. Finding that flow of breath. Space between the teeth, the jaw's soft. I don't know about you guys, but I've got lots of sensation in the upper shoulders there. And then go ahead and release. Let the head come to neutral. Let's do a nice big cat. Coming into cow, just our normal, letting our arms relax and release here. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Nice. Exhale, neutral. Go ahead and come off of, if you're on a high block especially, if you're just on a blanket, you can stay on that. But again, just coming onto the tops of the sits bones. Either way, bringing the soles of the feet together, coming into butterfly pose here for a moment. Okay, we're going to take a moment just to create little circles. So like I said, we'll be doing a lot in hips, low back. So we just want to get things warmed up to prep us. Again, those circles. And opposite direction. Nice. Coming back to center on this next one. Let's inhale, arms up. Coming into a little bit of a twist. So exhaling to the right, left hand on the outside of that right knee. Right fingertips tented behind, pressing, reaching through the crown, spine long. One more breath here. Accentuate that exhale. And then inhale, center, opposite side. Exhale to the left. Tent those fingers. Press, reach. So even though we're reaching through that crown, we're really grounding into those sits bones. And then work with that exhale. Nice. Go ahead and release here. Hands back onto the soles of the feet, or the hands, top of the hands, thumbs on the soles of the feet. Reach through the crown here, and we'll just work with the breath, slowly coming in and out of a forward fold here. So inhale, long through spine. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, press into the feet, come up. Exhale, hinge. One more time. Exhale. Tuck the chin, round the shoulders, drop them away, and let your body be heavy here for a moment. All right, pressing on up, bring the knees together. Let's give the hips a break for just a moment here, but big bend in the knee. So that way we're doing lizard on a rock. And always just play with this. Knees can be together or knees can be wide, depending on how it feels comfortable to come forward. But inhaling, arms up. Exhale, go ahead and melt over the tops of the thighs. Tucking that chin. Relaxing shoulders, relaxing hips here before we get ready to do our yin sequence. Nice. So let's inhale and then exhale. Come on up. All right. Go ahead and make sure your props are close by. So gather those up. Pillow, block if you have it, or two pillows if you don't have a block. And then we're coming back into our butterfly posture here. Okay. So we're going to take the block. Go ahead and let it be long ways up here. We'll have it on the tall position, because in yin, you come in and we hold for, a few minutes in each pose. And so once you get into a pose, you're kind of checking out how you're feeling here. So come on top of those sits bones. As we come in, then you will hold, and just knowing that you can make adjustments along the way if you need to. So inhale here, long through spine. Exhale, go ahead and rotate here. So the block should be directly over top of that knee. Go ahead and place the block onto the knee and then release forward. So with this one, for some reason, I don't know why, I think just because of the pressure that the head places on that left knee, it makes the right one want to pop up. Somehow it almost feels like a little button. If I squeeze my feet here, it's a reminder to drop that right knee. So that way it's an even release of the knees towards the earth. And then you can take this left hand, and whether you want to hold it and feel more secure with the block, whatever it is. But again, we've got that exhale, rotation in torso, releasing, coming down. Maybe the hand comes behind the hip. Just see what feels good in your body here in a place where you can relax and let go. So you want to feel fully supported. You want the muscle tension to release, letting go of any gripping here, and then find the breath. For any reason, you're scrunched up because you need a little more height, just throw a pillow under, and that'll give you a little more height there. So we want upper body at ease, lower body is sinking. I like to think of these. We've got our Kapha energy in Ayurveda. Kapha is the earth and the water element. And so our bodies are this dense earth, and then we use the breath as the water, and it allows it to become a bit of a clay. So that way we can kind of mold our bodies into these different positions, and we can smooth out that discomfort or those sensations that are kind of right on the edge there, because we don't want pain, but it lets it smooth out and let us melt into the posture. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Long, slow, and intentional. And slowly on your next exhale, supporting yourself as you come up, take a moment, move the blocked pillow over. And now we're going to extend this left leg. Okay. Bringing that right foot into the inset of that left leg. Okay. And then place the block on the inside of that left knee. Okay. We're going to take a moment, inhaling arms up so we can lengthen through that spine. Exhale, twist here. And then I want you to take that left elbow down onto that block. Again, if you need extra height, just bring that in. You can also adjust here just to modify. If it's possible here, see if you can place the forehead on the palm and just find your breath. That right hand can come to the hip. You may be feeling sensation on the inside of that left leg. And again, we're using the breath to smooth out and to sink. Okay, taking a moment here, focusing on that right hand. Go ahead and sweep it behind. Notice how the heart center opens up a bit here. So the chest starts facing that side wall a little bit. And then making the choice here, you can either hold here, or if you'd like, you can bring and float this right hand up and then just place it behind the head here. So kind of opening through the shoulder like we were doing a little bit earlier. So this helps to rotate the torso, even though we have that downward kind of side bend motion still happening. So a lot going on. And again, if this just feels uncomfortable, just bring the hand back to the hip. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Let's go ahead and release that hand, bring it back to the hip. Nice big inhale. And then exhale, slowly float it up and release here. Okay. Just wiggle again, just coming on top of those sits bones. This time we're going to rotate the torso directly over the leg. And then here too, sometimes it's nice if you have a little something, if you have an extra blanket, pillow, whatever, just to give yourself a little bit of a pop if your hamstrings are feeling tight. Because we hold here for a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a micro bend, you can throw a blanket, pillow, or block under there. But taking your block, we're going to inhale, exhale, rotate. So that way torso is facing the top of that left thigh. And then we exhale, hinge, 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 and then see where you go. So if top of thigh is too close, you can release it down. This one I find you kind of bring the forehead down and then you can almost interlace the fingers and kind of wrap here just to create a little bit of stability because it can feel a little bit wonky. So find your happy place there. You can also just bring your elbow down and place the hand or the head in the hand. So the forehead to the hand. We're going to figure that one out. So you can also just bend the elbow here and ground if the block feels too finicky here. And here as well, if you want to bring that right hand to the outside of the left calf, it helps to rotate the torso forward. So we're not pulling, but it's just using as almost like a little kickstand support here. So letting that shoulder drop away. Again, noticing those points of sensation. And then allowing the breath to smooth it out, just like water over a rock. It just smooths out those rough edges over time. Do 3 more breaths here. Again, intentional. So watching the breath come into the body, but then really accentuating that exhale. Noticing if the body is wanting it to sink a little bit, you can start moving the heel of the hand more towards the top of the head, or maybe lowering that block a little bit and seeing where you want to come. These last few breaths. And then big inhale, exhale, softly engaging that core. Support yourself as you come up. So your back doesn't have to do all the work. Nice. All right, we're going to switch to the opposite side. Okay, so removing that block here. And we're going to come back into our butterfly pose, repositioning so that way we're on top of those sits bones. We've got our block again. Now I got a bunch. So we're going to take the block. Nice big inhale. Exhale, rotate now towards that right knee. Drop the block down and then place the forehead. Again, this helps to anchor me. So then I'm going to kind of place my hand on the feet, reminding that left knee to drop down and away. So it feels like the wings are both dropping, releasing and letting go. And then again, just seeing where it feels comfortable. If it helps with that rotation, bringing that hand behind that right hip to kind of ground. It ends up, the hands are almost like in alignment here. As always, if it feels good in these longer holds, just letting the eyes close. Becoming a witness to the breath moving through the body. Take a few more breaths here. Again, intentional in that exhale. Nice big inhale here. Start floating that right hand to the block. And then exhale, coming up. Nice. Okay, let's extend that right leg out long, bringing that left foot to the inset of that right leg. Okay, we're placing that block on the inside of that right knee. Okay. Inhaling, arms up. And then we're going to exhale. Go ahead and come down here, dropping right elbow down. Again, you can bring the hand up so that way it can be a little bit of a kickstand for the head. Floating the left hand actually just to the hip here at first. The shoulder down and away. Find your breath. So we're going to just go through the variations with that left hand. So we're holding where we are on the right side here. But then if you like, you can float that right hand behind the low back, rolling that shoulder back and down and opening a bit here through heart center to the side wall a little bit more. Just notice with the neck if it needs to move a little bit or even pivot a little bit more where the gaze is going towards the side wall, you can. And then those last 3 breaths, you can either hold here Or if you'd like to bring the hand behind the head and opening through. Find here if the gaze is down, the fingertips just come behind that right ear and then opening through that left elbow. Okay, in this movement, it brings more intensity. So notice if the muscles have started gripping again, see if you can breathe into it and let it go. If not, it means you've gone too far, so just back it off. So just noticing here. We're being very attentive to what's going on, noticing if those glutes are starting to fire up because it's trying to hold you tightly in the position. It's that we want you to melt, not grip. Nice. Float that arm down. Nice big inhale. And then exhale, come on up. All right, we're going to now pivot forward. Okay, so wiggle a little bit here because now the torso is going to face directly over the top of the right thigh. Okay, so even take the block, inhale, reach, reach, reach. Hinging at the hip. And again, oh, I forgot, if we want a little bit of a block, if you want to micro bend, you can do that. Throw something under there. And then exhale, release. Again, you can either bring a block here, or you can let, once again, the hand be a kickstand. This left hand can come to the outside of that right calf. Just kind of anchor in because now we want the chest, the heart center facing down towards the earth. Find that nice big deep inhale. And then exhale. Become heavy, grounded, rooted to the earth. And again, as your body wants to drop into it deeper, you can just let the heel of the hand slide down the forehead or just change the position in the block. Again, if you drop down, you can kind of hold the block on either side, shoulders away from the ears, upper body at ease. Melting, sinking here. 3 more breaths. Nice big inhale. Exhale, slowly come on up. Try to remove any blocks here. And just coming back to easy seated. Again, if you have something you want to place under the hips here for a moment, just letting the hands come to heart center. I'm going to drop into our breath as we seal our practice, just taking a moment to, we're going to do a bit more of a seated Shavasana today, with that being such a lower, slower practice. We'll just end our practice today in a seated posture. So dropping chin towards the chest, hands at heart center. And once again, just tapping into the flow of breath, that rise and fall. It's a little bit of gratitude towards the body for showing up today. And working with the challenge of the mind when that becomes busy because the body is still. And inhale and exhale. Taking a moment to connect with a sense of gratitude, of compassion, and of curiosity as you move through your day, both for yourself and for those that you encounter. Go ahead and take hands to heart center, thumb pressed to heart. Nice big inhale. Let's seal our practice. Exhale out. Namaste.